So in today's video, I'm basically gonna go over how me having an unlocked phone really helped me out. So basically, I have moved to a new area because, after the whole COVID situation where I got furloughed, lost my job, I ended up getting on with another company in a whole different location. Now, me having an unlocked phone really came in handy because the location I went to had a different connectivities as far as with the carriers. When I was in Atlanta, T-Mobile worked very well for me. It didn't provide any issues with me. Provided me a strong coverage, a very strong coverage area. Was very fast and did everything I needed to do and provided all the things I really needed for my cell phone. But moving to my new location, I noticed I started seeing some little issues here and there. Now, when I was on my Pixel 4 XL, it wasn't as noticeable. I think mainly because of the simple fact that one, it's an LTE device, and two, at the time I was using my phone, I wasn't doing a lot of multimedia. It was mainly just email and internet here and there, and that was it. Now, when it was finally, I would say, noticeable, or at least being made apparent, was I decided that I wanted to pick up a Samsung Galaxy Fold 2. Now, when I picked up the phone from Swap, I started noticing the connectivity issues. Now, at the time, I thought it was because of the phone. Why? Well, for that point, I didn't notice any issues on T-Mobile. And it's like, man, it seemed like the phone was a problem. And at the time, I'm like, man, if it is a phone, the last thing I want to do is be stuck with a phone. It has an issue, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I got with the seller, got my refund, and moved on about my day. So went back to the Pixel 4 XL, and seemed like everything was working somewhat good. And then I started doing some speed tests and started noticing, okay, it's been a little bit off here and there, but it wasn't as bad. So I decided to say, okay, I want to take another shot at a 5G phone. So, it was at the time when the OnePlus 9 Pro came out. Picked it up, threw the SIM card in there, and I don't know, it was something about the OnePlus 9. As much as I kept saying that I would be Team OnePlus, it was something about that phone that really, at the time, like, this is not quite doing it for me. And it may be because, again, I'm coming off the Samsung Galaxy Fold, having a phone that fold open into a tablet, just having something that's a little bit different from the same phone that we see every day, the same kind of phone, just something different. It was between that and just, I don't know, something about the OnePlus really wasn't working for me. So I ended up returning the OnePlus and swapping out for the Samsung Galaxy Fold 2. I started noticing the connectivity issues again. And where it would come or be noticeable, I would go up to the gym and try to get into my cardio theater and started noticing here and there that it'll take longer for videos to load, and if it even would load at all. Not only did that, but there would be times where, because at work we actually clock in with our cell phones. There's like an app that we use that we punch in through there. And there would be times when I would try to go open that app and the app would just stall there and it wasn't opening. And then I would do a speed test and notice I was getting some really, really slow speeds. Right around 0.2, maybe 6, up, 2 down, very, very slow speeds. And I finally said, all right, this is getting frustrating. Let me call up T-Mobile. Called up T-Mobile, and mainly I was wanting to know, did they have a tower down? If they had a tower down and they knew it was down, they could let me know it was going to be repaired sometime within the very soon period. Then I was willing to stick around. But at the time, the first person I talked to, they kept saying there was no tower down. And they kept insisting my phone was the issue. Except that I went through not only noticing this on my Samsung Galaxy Fold 2, but when I started switching, when I put my SIM card back in my Pixel 4 XL, the phone that, again, originally I thought I did not have any problems with, I started over the weeks and months noticing some of the same issues on my Pixel 4 XL where, I was not able to load up websites, were unable to do just the little things. So I said, you know what, this is getting frustrating. T-Mobile's not quite answering my questions. All right, let's try AT&T. Now this is where having an unlocked phone came in handy. I was able to go to AT&T store. You know, do you got a SIM card I can pop in? Popped in the SIM card, you know, played around with AT&T for a couple days. Now, AT&T worked a little bit better as far as the download speeds, but what frustrated me was the upload speeds. You know, it's like, even with T-Mobile, when I was having really bad or really slow connectivity issues, I was still pulling much faster upload speeds on T-Mobile than I was on AT&T. And I'm like, okay, now I know AT&T, no matter what they advertise to people, I knew they don't have a true 5G. They do not have 5G at all. They're pretty much pulling the same wool over people's eyes that they did with LTE or 4G, where they was calling their 3G, 4G, HPA plus, so that the customers could feel like they're getting a fourth generation of internet speed or wireless speed, when the reality was that they were still kind of behind on the 3G, but they were still wanting to capitalize on 4G. That was pretty much what I know they was doing with 5G. And I had a big problem with that. I actually posted a video before talking about my issues with that. And yeah, you know, I was willing to give AT&T a try, but there was two things that really stuck out to me with AT&T. One, more time was spent trying to sell me something else than deal with the problem. And two, like I said, I felt like even with their speeds or the connectivity, it wasn't that much better than T-Mobile. So I decided to say, okay, you know what? I left AT&T, went back to T-Mobile, and decided I want to give T-Mobile another try. Now, I know someone's going to ask, why do you check out Verizon? Well, actually, I went by a Verizon store, and when I was talking to the rep there and asked them to do a speed test, and I saw their speeds of like 10 up, like maybe 3 or 4 down, I was not impressed. I said, yeah, it seems like this area is not a good area for Verizon. So for me, I wrote Verizon off. So I went back to T-Mobile, you know, gave T-Mobile another try. And, you know, so I decided, okay, maybe the issue was Samsung, because, you know, Samsung in the past have been known for having weak wireless radios, and, you know, my Pixel 4 XL, where areas I couldn't pick up a signal with my 5G Galaxy Fold 2, I was able to pick up with my Pixel 4 XL. So I was ready to write it off as being a issue with Samsung, as well as T-Mobile slightly having a problem with a couple of towers there. So I called T-Mobile again. I was able to get a hold of a rep or a tech that seemed to be more versed into what was actually going on. So he zoomed into my area. He was able to locate my issue. He said, okay, yeah, I see 2 problems. One, we do have a tower now, and it's supposed to be back up around the mid-July area. And the other issue was that they noticed another area where there's like this business that had like a, I want to say T-Mobile router or something that's going on that was for their business, and somehow, some way, it was interfering with my connectivity. So they first turned that down and then said, okay, wait a couple weeks, we should have the tower back up. Now, them doing that did make things a little bit better, but I gotta be honest with you, it was getting frustrating, you know, very, very frustrating to have a phone and not be able to use it. And I was adamant that, man, this area just cursed. I'm going to accept that this area now, Matt, is just a black hole for, you know, wireless carriers. And then I was just, you know, one day just strolling around and saw someone at work, you know, just looking at a video. And I go, man, okay, that's coming through pretty clear. Who's your carrier? And he goes, Verizon. I go, no way. I said, I talked to a Verizon rep, and they said, man, Verizon's horrible in this area. He goes, I haven't had any problems. I go, really? Do me a favor, do a speed test. He popped out a speed test, and I was impressed. I'm like, wait, 20, 30 up, like 15 down? I'm sorry, 20, 30 down, 15 up. I mean, that's pretty good. Now, people keep hearing me throwing out these numbers out there real quick. let me kind of give you an idea why some of these numbers are important. Around 25 is, well, it's I don't say the point you need to be, but if you're at 25, you can enjoy videos without a problem. You know, you enjoy any kind of multimedia and high definition without any issue. So around 15 to 20, 25, you're going to be fine. You know, so that's kind of the area you're going to want to be if you're a big multimedia hog. And around, I say around 8 and above, around that area will be good for just doing the basic day-to-day of checking your email, Twitter, and so on and so on. Now, decided to say, okay, let's give Verizon a try. You know, after seeing that guy, you know, show a positive experience with Verizon, I said, you know what, I'll give him a try. What I got to lose? So I went to the Verizon store, said, you know what, let's go ahead and let me get your SIM. Pop the SIM card in. Now, at first, right around the area, you know, and she did tell me, she said, look, right inside the store, you may notice some issues because we have like an extender. Now, when I hear an extender for Verizon, I am immediately thinking, okay, your service must be garbage if you have an extender. I said, okay, you know, I'm gonna try it, but I was ready to go ahead and write these guys off because I'm thinking, man, they got an extender. It's because their service is garbage in this area. And I go outside, do a couple speed tests. I'm doing pretty good, you know, around 20, 30. You know, drive away, start seeing, you know, barely getting to 15. At times it's really at 10. I'm thinking this is going to be a short-lived. This is sucking. I'm about ready to take it back. Now, mind you, and I also use this video or this point of this video to kind of throw out this disclaimer. If you switch carriers, especially if you porting your phone over, give them a couple hours for everything to go through the system. You know, especially when you put a new SIM card, IMEI and all that other stuff. It's going to take them a little bit for that to get through the system before you're gonna be able to use your device. But if you bring your own device, it's gonna take a little bit for everything to be provisioned right for you to be able to fully take advantage of it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's exactly what happened. As time went on, you know, I gave it a few hours, I started seeing better speed tests. And then, you know, I started seeing areas where I was getting 200 down, like around, I think it was 200 down I got. And like, I forgot what I had up, but, you know, to see that I was pulling 200 down really impressed me. And I'm like, man, they really were able to provide a pretty good service in this area. And this is the reason why I say having an unlocked phone works for me. So had I not had an unlocked phone, I would have had to go through the process of, all right, going through each carrier, getting the phone, and if I have problems with it, paying some type of fee or early cancellation fee or all this other stuff that I got to deal with. Where an unlocked phone, for the most part, if you buy an unlocked phone, it's about the same price you're going to pay for a carrier phone. It really is. And it's like one of the things I feel like a lot of people was like really clamoring for, especially on Verizon, because that was one of the things about Verizon where, you know, that really worked out for them in the past, that if you got a Verizon phone or you tried to come on their network, you had to have a Verizon phone. And if it wasn't a Verizon phone, it would work on their network. And for a long time, they were able to skate by with the fact of you having to have a Verizon phone or a phone that worked on their network. And even now, they still kind of play that game because, like, if you look at some of the phones out there, there are not a lot of phones that are certified to work on the Verizon network. When I say phones, I mean unlocked phones. Like, for example, if you decide to go out there and get some of these Huawei phones or some of these, even when the OnePlus was in their heyday, for a while, it would not work on Verizon. So Verizon still kind of play the game of policing the phones that they allow in their network. Now, your popular devices like your Pixels, your Samsungs, your iPhones, you know you're going to have those to work on their network. They want those on there. But some of these third-party phones, good luck getting them to work on a Verizon network. Now, back to why I say having an unlocked phone is very crucial. It's a simple fact that, again, you know, And when I was having problems trying to figure out which network was going to work for me in this area, to be able to say, all right, let me get a SIM card, try it out. Okay, it ain't work for me. All right, here's your SIM card, and pretty much not really be charged anything. Or maybe some places try to charge like a $10, $15 fee for quote activating the line, or I want to say at&t at first charged me like $30 to activate the line. But when you look at $30 versus if you buy a phone and you decide to leave the carrier early and try to get an early cancellation fee, which you will pay there, $30 is pretty much nothing considering. And like I said, if you just want to try out the network, if you just use one of your unlocked phones, let's say if you got a family plan, before you bring your entire family over, maybe try just your phone to see how it works for a couple of days. And if it don't work out, well, keep shopping around the networks until you find out that network that works good in your new area. Then you bring the rest of the family over. That could work out. But at the end of the day, that's basically the tip or the point of this video of saying why having an unlocked phone really works out, why I kind of recommend it. Because again, if you happen to move to a new area, whether it be because of work or you decide to say, look, I'm ready to make a change, as far as where I'm going, whether because of certain circumstances or life changes or whatever, and you go to this new area, and now this the area where you was at, one carrier was great, but now you go to another area, it's not so great. To just be able to go into the store and just pop a SIM card in and be done and ready to go is awesome. To not have to worry about, oh, now I gotta get new phones, and especially like I said, coming off of COVID, of last year, the whole COVID thing, having to get a new job, and just we're looking at ways to save money and to not have to go out there and worry about buying a new phone, but to be able to just pick up a SIM card. And like I said, for most of these places, picking up a SIM card is practically free. You just have to pay for what you would already have to pay for anyway, which is your monthly fee. Okay, great. And a lot of these companies now, when I look at what you're going to pay, at least as far as the month to month, they're pretty close to each other. I want to say T-Mobile was the cheapest, around $85 for their maxed out plan. Verizon is about $105, but if you agree to allow automatic bill pay or something like that, you can drop to $95. I want to say at&t is about the same amount, about $95 as well. So they're pretty close to each other for what you're going to pay for like a one-person plan or a single plan. As far as a family plan, I'm not quite sure. I have to dig that up, but I'm pretty sure you guys can do that as well. But again, picking up an unlocked phone, you can pick them up at Best Buy, or even from the manufacturer. If it's a Samsung or an iPhone, you can buy it from them. Buy an unlocked phone.